So, arguably, in the past couple years, the best storyline in wrestling, in modern wrestling, has to be the Bloodline saga. Everything that has happened with the Bloodline saga. It's actually the reason why I'm back into wrestling and why I started getting into wrestling again was because of the Bloodline story, especially when Sami Zayn was trying to be part of the Bloodline. That I thought it was a great storyline. Also helped that Vince McMahon wasn't running the show, and I thought, hey, we'll give it a shot. And I have not been disappointed ever since. So I've been a fan of WWE since I was young. I took a long break, and then I came back during the Bloodline thing. And judging from what I've seen and how everything is flowing, I've come up with a couple of predictions of what I think is going to happen because the rumblings have been out there. We know that right now, as of today of October 4th, 2023, I've heard rumors that at WrestleMania 40 in 2024 in Philadelphia, they want to have a Jimmy Uso versus a Jey Uso match at WrestleMania 40. So in this video, I want to just kind of explain my predictions of the timeline and how that can happen. And also to kind of give a little clarity what I think is going on with Jimmy Uso. There's a lot of people are saying that they don't understand Jimmy's character or what he's doing right now, why he's going back in the Bloodline. And I have my predictions on what's going to happen for each little thing. And I have a prediction of how all that is going to work out. So the way I've done it is I'm going to break down the timeline of the next couple ones into PLEs. Alright? There's PLE markers, and that's how we're going to count down. So the very first one is Fastlane, which is coming up on October 7th, 2023. Crown Jewel, which will be November 4th, 2023. Survivor Series, November 25th, 2023. Then Royal Rumble 2024, Elimination Chamber 2024 in Australia, and WrestleMania 40. So I have predictions of those kind of like that markers, and then I'm also gonna kind of weave into the storyline of how I think this is all gonna work. Now, I won't be 100% like it may not 100% click or may not 100% be clear what I am trying to do with each section, but I'm gonna try to section it off so then we compare Jey and Jimmy. And ultimately, how we could get to a Jimmy versus Jey match at WrestleMania 40 and what I think is going to happen right away. So, where is the Bloodline right now? As of October 4th making this, here's the state of the Bloodline. Jimmy and Jey are split. They are not together anymore. Jey is on Raw. Jimmy is on SmackDown because Jimmy betrayed Jey at SummerSlam and prevented him from beating Roman Reigns. Right? So Jey is now on Raw, and Jimmy is on SmackDown. Now, if you want kind of my feel of why these predictions are going to happen, where I'm going to go, the guideline, I want you to look at the two entrance themes for both of these guys. Jey is main event-ish, I think is what they call it. Main event-ish, or main event Jey or something like that. So he's going to be all about being in the main event. He's going to be in the top picture of Raw. He's going to be there. And so then why my prediction with Jimmy, if you look at Jimmy's song, is called Born a King. And that song is all about how he's fighting against his family tree and how he's just got to do it on his own and how he's got to be a king on his own, right? Well, I think that kind of sets the stage of what's going to happen in the upcoming while. So, because like lately, what's been going on with Jimmy is that he's solidifying his heel stance. Except he's kind of like treading the waters between Bloodline and taking control over the Bloodline while Roman's not there. I don't know if the way I'm getting the feeling with this whole thing with Jimmy Uso being like controlling, doing all these things, I feel like it's Roman trying to test Jimmy, see, okay, can he make the right decisions? We'll get more into it in a second. But anyways, he's like being forcefully, and he steps into the Bloodline, and now they started a feud with John Cena and LA Knight, and they're gonna be facing at Fastlane, which we'll get into soon. So I feel like Jimmy right now has been treading the waters between the Bloodline, and I think he's also right now, from what I've seen in the past couple of SmackDowns, I think right now with him and Solo working together, I think he's trying to build that relationship with Solo. You know, I think what he's trying to do is get Solo to work with him more, have fun, and do what he wants to do with him. He have more say what he wants to do. I think this is all kind of like leading down to a road where I think you'll see where I'm going with this. But that's so far what I'm seeing right now at the current state of things with Jimmy is I feel like he's forcibly trying to take control of the bloodline so he can stay in the bloodline as Roman Reigns isn't there. Since Roman Reigns isn't there, they can't be stopped. He can't be stopped. So, like, I don't know what they... So, unless they've... Like, yeah, I think Jimmy is taking control of the bloodline to kind of stay alive in the bloodline. But at the same time, I think he's treading the waters to try to work with Solo to get Solo to really enjoy working with him, you know? I think that's kind of what we are looking at right now. And taking control over Paul Heyman too. Like, he's pretty much rendering Paul Heyman almost useless right now because he's just doing what he's going to do anyways. Him and Solo have been doing that, and that's how they got into this feud with John Cena and LA Knight. On the other side, Jay on Raw. Well, everyone remembers him in the Bloodline, and there's so many wrestlers there that just remember how the Bloodline and Jey Uso in particular screwed them over in their matches against Roman Reigns. Like Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. Well, Sami Zayn not so much. Kevin Owens. And hell, even Cody Rhodes got screwed over by them too. But Cody Rhodes invited them back. Invited them to come in onto Raw. So, and that's the other thing is we don't know who's... They say there's a trade. Someone is going to be going back to SmackDown. We don't know who's doing that yet. They haven't told us what's happening there yet. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So anyways... So right now, Jey Uso has been kind of... he's been invited into the Judgment Day with Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Rhea Ripley. They have been inviting him into their faction to say, hey, we are a family. We're a real family. Come here, Jay. You know, you got thrown out by your family, but that's not real family. We're a real family. And they're having their own issues, too. That's the video to go into some other time. I don't really know. I haven't really thought too much into the Judgment Day things because, to be fair, they're kind of unpredictable what they're doing with the Judgment Day. Because with the Judgment Day, just to go off on a little tangent, there's a bunch of things I would do with Judgment Day to make good storylines, but they're so good together, I get why they need to keep it together. So it's like, are they going to pull the trigger and do this thing or not? But, anyways. So Jay pretty much was offered to join the Judgment Day, and he turned him down. He's essentially in a pseudo gang with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes against the Judgment Day 4, which is Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough. We'll get more into that later. So, this Saturday is Fastlane, and what I think's going to happen in the matches at Fastlane is as follows. So, due to the rivalry with Jey Uso, Jay and Cody Rhodes are going to face off against the Judgment Day for the tag team titles. Jimmy and Solo are going to have a tag team match against John Cena and LA Knight. So, what do I think is going to happen at Fastlane? Well, firstly, I can't see Jay and Cody winning that match. I feel like they got to build it off of them. They got to do something to get... They got to build it a little bit more. I just don't see them winning, and I think the numbers game are going to come out. I think there's going to be too many of them swarming around the ring, and I just don't see them winning this match because it's just the numbers game. I think Judgment Day travels very well. Then they're going to do what they always do. They're going to throw the case around. They're going to hit with the belts and all that. I can't see Jay or Cody winning this match. So yeah, and then I think this all sets up towards a different match, though. I think it sets up to a future match, which I'll talk about that in a little bit. As for the other Uso, I feel the opposite. Oh wait. No, it's not that I feel the opposite. I feel kind of similar for the other Uso. I can't see John Cena and LA Knight losing this match. LA Knight, yeah. I just can't see them losing this match. I can't see like Jimmy and Solo losing or winning this match. Because it just wouldn't make much sense for a storyline. It would make so much more sense for a storyline if Jimmy and Solo lose this match, because this is all Jimmy's baby. He's been demanding this whole thing. He's been forcing us around, you know. He's been the one setting this off instead of getting into the face of John Cena again, you know, getting John Cena involved in the Bloodline. However, I think a huge upset and loss to John Cena at LA Knight is going to spark the Tribal Chief to get involved, get his ass back, and he's going to seek revenge. So that was what I believe is happening at Fastlane. I believe none of the Usos are going to win. I don't think I think Jay and Cody are going to have a good fight, but you know, Judgment Day are going to do Judgment Day things. I believe Jimmy and Solo are going to lose to John Cena and LA Knight. So, after that humiliating loss, though, by Solo and Jimmy, Roman is going to come back. And I believe he's going to be very angry at Jimmy and Solo. And he's like, you know what? Screw it. You guys won't deal with the John Cena problem. I'll deal with the John Cena problem. And at Crown Jewel, which will be coming up, the next pay-per-view, it will be John Cena versus Roman Reigns. And then at this time, like, Jimmy and Solo are kind of like on their heels a little bit with Roman Reigns. And they're going to help him out at the match at Crown Jewel. I believe Solo is going to ultimately help Roman defeat Cena at Crown Jewel. I believe like he'll interfere somehow. Like I said, I'm not sure if the Usos are able to make it there. So I don't know how the travel situation, I don't know how it's going to work. I know they had special permissions before to go. I don't know if they make it there. But I don't think Jay and Jimmy are going to be there. They don't necessarily need to be there. But what I do feel is coming up, though, and this is just a little sideline thing. It's not really Bloodline related, but I believe the next match, the big match for Judgment Day and this whole group, the gang, the face gang, I believe it's going to be a one-on-one match, Damian Priest versus either KO, Sammy, or Cody Rhodes. Probably Cody Rhodes. And the winner, I think it's going to be, actually, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it, I believe it is going to be Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest for the suitcase, for the Money in the Bank. And I believe this is kind of teased by the match that they were supposed to have being canceled. I think that makes more sense now. It makes way more sense. So I believe that's going to be the match. I believe we are going to see Damian Priest defend his case against Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel. Alright? And LA Knight's still going to be involved. I think he's still going to be feuding with he's probably having a match with Solo, a match with Jimmy. You know, he's probably going to keep kind of involved. Maybe he might have a little feud with someone else. I don't know. I don't really know who else he could have a feud with. Maybe he could have a little thing with Austin Theory at the time. Or, I don't know. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, I do believe that eventually Priest will keep his case due to shenanigans from the Judgment Day. You know, they're going to do that. And you know what? I think this is going to be at the wit's end. I think Cody Rhodes is going to have enough. I think KO is going to have enough. I think Sami Zayn's going to have enough. And I think Jey Uso is going to have enough. So that means, wait, did you know something? There's 4 on each side. There is Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes. And on the other side, there's Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough. You know what that sets up? War Games! Or a traditional Survivor Series match, elimination match. I don't know. But I believe this is where we are going to start having that match. I think that's the next setup we're going to be having is the Survivor Series match. The big match to kind of end this whole thing with Judgment Day. End this whole thing with Judgment Day and the face crew. And let them go on their separate ways to get ready for a Royal Rumble. I believe that's going to be the match. And I believe, unlike last year's, I believe the face group is going to actually win this match. So the face group is going to win this match. And then it's going to be smacked together. It's going to be, okay, let's put this Judgment Day thing to bed. We're done. It's over. We can get ready for Royal Rumble as we all try to look to be the next ones to face Roman Reigns. So, now as for Roman Reigns, I believe that the rivalry between LA Knight and Roman Reigns is going to come to a fold at Survivor Series. I believe that's when he's going to get his match. I think that's when he's going to fight Roman Reigns, and I believe he's going to be built up, obviously with the fanfare and everything like that. I believe he's going to be so huge in this storyline. I believe that this is going to be the thing that's going to skyrocket him up. You know what? I believe LA Knight is going to get this title shot, and ultimately I believe it's going to be a good match. It's going to be a spirit match, but ultimately I think he's going to win the match via disqualification. I believe this is where shit will hit the fan for Jimmy Uso, because I believe Jimmy Uso is going to try to help Roman Reigns get a chair or the title belt and hit LA Knight with it, but I believe the referee will see him and disqualify Roman Reigns and give an LA Knight win. That way LA Knight doesn't get the loss, but he doesn't get the belt, because I don't think he's ready for the heavyweight title yet. I believe he is going to have to do an Intercontinental title run. Maybe after this he can start getting, or not the Intercontinental title, the U.S. title picture. At this time he can go back down, get the U.S. title picture, build up for that. Then maybe next year, maybe SummerSlam, he could go for it, I think. That's a long-term thing. I don't know how they would get there yet. I haven't thought about that, but LA Knight, I believe this one is going to put him on the map, and he'll officially go for the U.S. title after this. That's why I believe he's going to be doing that Royal Rumble, or he's going to be going really far in the Royal Rumble. Alright, so I believe Jimmy Uso is going to interfere in the match and cost Roman Reigns the match. And after that, Survivor Series with LA Knight winning. LA Knight winning the match via disqualification. Roman's gonna be pissed because he had pride on his hand. He wanted to defeat LA Knight. He wanted to put LA Knight to the ground, and Jimmy hit him with a belt and got him disqualified instead. So I believe that Roman's gonna be very angry and furious at Jimmy, and I believe this is gonna start causing a rift between them. I believe it's gonna cause Roman Reigns to kick Jimmy out, and I believe it's gonna set up at the Royal Rumble, Jimmy versus Roman Reigns. Now, at the same time, I believe after Survivor Series, Jay will be riding off of a high of winning Survivor Series, and he's going to continue that main event status, and I feel like he's going to somehow get into the title picture, and I believe he is going to have a title shot for the heavyweight title at Royal Rumble, whether it be against Seth Rollins or someone else. Now, I believe this match is going to, and the way it has to be positioned, I believe they're going to do it like last year, where they had the men's Royal Rumble first, or the women's Royal Rumble first, then the men's, and then they have to have the heavyweight title, and then Roman Reigns versus Jimmy Uso. It's just, I believe it's the next match there. And it has to fall on that, because I believe Jimmy Uso, knowing that he's being thrown out, seeing that his brother is there, knowing that he's going for a title shot, he'd be like, hey, I believe during the match between Jey Uso and Seth Rollins, or whoever, I don't know who it's going to be at the time, I believe Jimmy's going to interfere, trying to say, hey, I'm going to help you win your title, you help me win mine. And Jay will super kick Jimmy, and that'll cause a distraction for whoever's opponent to get their finisher done, and 1, 2, 3, Jay loses the match because of Jimmy's interference. Then, I believe after the Royal Rumble, which I believe The Rock or Cody Rhodes is going to win that one. Or I believe then it's going to be Roman versus Jimmy Uso. And it'll be tribal combat. Except hopefully this time it's a real tribal combat, and it's really good. And I believe that they're going to tear the place off, the roof off there. Solo's going to be at ringside and for this match, and at this time, just Solo doesn't know where he's at right now. Like, he's gonna be like, do I fight with my brother, or do I fight with Roman? Like, who do I go? Do I go with the Tribal Chief, or do I go with Jimmy? He's not gonna know which one to go through. He's kind of confused right now. Anyways, after being pissed off about losing his title, I think we're gonna safely say that Jey Uso is gonna interfere in the match with Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns. And I believe Jey Uso is going to cost Jimmy the title. And Jey Uso is going to leave before Roman Reigns sees him. And, like, he doesn't want anything to do with him. And, I bet he's going to allow Roman Reigns to win. And he's going to be like, that makes it even. And at this point in time, Roman's going to get up. He's going to see Jimmy there. And he's like, you know what? I've had enough of this. We're going to give you your licks. And we're going to fight you. We're going to beat you up. And he gets Solo in the ring. He's like, okay, Solo, you finish him off. Give him the Simone Spike. And I can see it picture perfectly too. It's like you're going to have Roman to the left of Solo. He's going to have Jimmy in his hand. He's going to have the spike coming up. And then he's going to push Jimmy away and poof, spike Roman Reigns. Ah! Poof! It'll get Roman Reigns. You know? And I believe Solo Sikoa is going to officially break away from the Bloodline, which officially leaves Roman alone. However, we still have a pay-per-view to go through. And at this time, I believe the Elimination Chamber match, Jey Uso is going to be involved in it to potentially see who's going to fight for the heavyweight title at WrestleMania, but I ultimately think he's going to lose. And Jimmy and Solo are prepared for Solo to face Roman at Elimination Chamber. And I don't think Jay's going to win his Elimination Chamber match. But I do feel like Solo is going to lose clean to Roman. Jimmy won't be able to stop him, and I believe it's going to set up this whole disbandment, and Jimmy may have messed up on something and causing Solo to lose the match or something like that. But I believe Roman's going to still hold on to the title after Elimination Chamber. And Solo and Jimmy are going to be leaving the Bloodline. And they're going to try to recruit Jay, but Jay's going to say, no, fuck you both. You guys screw me over so many times, so many spikes, and I've had enough of all you. At this time, maybe Solo might also start losing his shit and start going against his brothers too, which will set up, which originally was supposed to be the Jimmy versus Jay at WrestleMania 40. I think the better match would be Jimmy versus Jay versus Solo. Brother versus brother versus brother at WrestleMania 40. And then, after they have their match, you know, they do their thing, they blow out their steam. All three of them help defeat Roman Reigns. And again, Roman Reigns loses his title to Cody Rhodes or The Rock. And I believe that's how it's going to go. I believe that's the kind of storyline we are looking at. And I believe that is where we are heading with the Bloodline. Kind of gives a little direction that, okay, Jimmy may be kind of in the Bloodline and not in the Bloodline. He's just trying to tread the line, you know? He's trying to be kind of in between, is what I think. And I think right now he's trying to get Solo Sikoa on his side, his brother, so then when push comes to shove, when it comes time for Roman to say he's had enough and wants Solo to attack his brother, he's going to turn against Roman. And at the end of all this, I believe what's going to happen is the Usos and the Bloodline are going to be split. I believe Solo Sikoa is going to be doing his own thing. Jimmy and Jay may reunite as the Usos, and they may take team or they might take a break. I believe Roman Reigns will be without his title. He'll be without his bloodline. He's going to be broken down. And I believe they're going to try to build him up as a babyface when he comes back. That'll be after a good little break. They're going to let whoever has the title run with the title a little bit. Probably have a Rock versus LA Knight SummerSlam match maybe down the road. That's still kind of Bloodline. It's still a Bloodline prediction. Next year's SummerSlam, have LA Knight versus The Rock. And have LA Knight win the heavyweight title there or something like that, depending on if the trajectory still goes up. And yeah, so those are kind of my hot take, my prediction of what I think is going to happen with the Bloodline up to WrestleMania 40. And kind of what I think the major storyline for the WWE is going to be. See, the problem is I would love to also include Judgment Day in this, but I just don't know how, after Survivor Series, what's going to go on there. Like, maybe DIY is going to be more of a threat, and maybe they might go attack. Maybe the New Day might attack the Judgment Day. I don't know. I just feel like there's gotta be a good tag team to take on Judgment Day. I feel like it's gotta be a team that's worthy of it. It's gotta be a real team. So, you know, because I do believe Chad Gable's gonna win the Intercontinental Championship over Gunther. So I would say Alpha Academy might be the team to take it off, but I just don't see it. I can see like the New Day be in the team, or maybe even like Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, maybe, or maybe LWO wins it, like Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar win it, and then Sorry. They win it and then they flip it. Then they get flipped to Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. That's who I would get the titles on. I would get the titles on those two. Take titles. This is just a quick little hot takes off of my head. But yeah, so I believe we're in for a wild ride. Triple H with Trips in the driver's seat. I believe we are in for a great show. I want to record this and get this done because if I didn't get this done, then I don't know what I would have done. So I need to get this done, and yeah. So I thank you guys for listening to my little rant. Maybe I'll do some more of these. Maybe I'll do prediction videos or something like that for each event. Maybe I might start doing those. We can see how we go if you like that. If you want me to do that, if you want me to do predictions of what I think is going to happen at Fastlane or at all the main events or pay-per-views, we can do that. Sorry, I apologize. I'm not going to be cutting that out because I don't feel like it. Anyways, I am Nightmarish. Thank you for listening to this rant. Tell me what you think down below. How do you think they can make it up? Do you think this is a plausible way they can make Jimmy versus Jay at WrestleMania? I personally would rather have the triple threat, Jimmy versus Jay versus Solo. Have the brothers all fight each other. And then after they fight each other, they all come together and unite against Roman to help Roman lose his title. Alright, I thank you guys for watching and listening. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!